And welcome everybody out there to our next Yard Prep pregame show. The Miami Dolphins are getting ready to face off against the New York Jets for their rematch. But first, this show is brought to you by PrizePicks.com. So it is a revolutionary new fantasy football way of doing things. So if you're someone like me who's really, really bad at fantasy football, then this actually is a good way to get yourself started in the whole thing. So this way, you only need to pick 2, 3, or 4 individual players from any league, and you can just pick the over or under on their projected fantasy points, and you will be able to win depending on if you get it right or not. They will go ahead and deposit up to $100 on your match. So if you can put up to $100 a deposit with the promo code FIVE, that's FIVE, and they will match that deposit. So once again, that's prizepicks.com. Go and get yourself started today. And speaking of prizepicks.com, so now we have something to discuss here, gentlemen. So it is now confirmed that the doubtful Tua Tagovailoa is out inactive for this game, which means that Ryan Fitzpatrick will be the starting quarterback against the New York Jets. So now for all the prize pickers out there, should we pick the over or under on Ryan Fitzpatrick, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 250 yards?
Over, way over.
On all of it?
Yeah, all of it. Well, not on the interceptions. I think he'll be Fitzmagic today. He'll look absolutely great. Flores will be smiling on the sideline, and who knows about Tua Tagovailoa. But it's something that I think we need to touch on. You know, like this has to change the evaluation. Starting quarterbacks don't miss games in the NFL with a thumb injury. They just don't. And I understand they haven't disclosed what the thumb injury is, and that's part of the problem here. Like they got to say, what does he have? Did he tear a ligament in his thumb? Did he break his thumb? They haven't said that. They just say he jammed his thumb in practice on Wednesday, and that's enough to keep him out. And now NFL Network saying that he could be out several weeks. That has to change the evaluation going forward. Your starting quarterback can't miss several weeks due to a thumb.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like with Tua, it's just feeding into all the crazy narratives that were already out there, right? Mm-hmm. Like you've already got a bunch of people saying, oh, he's injury prone. He can't stay healthy. He won't make it. Obviously, we've seen one extreme, right? We've seen the unfortunate incident with Joe Burrow. That really sucked. And now you've got Tua sitting out with a thumb, and you haven't even told us what the thumb injury is. You have to give us a little more details on what exactly is going on. Now, I understand their thought process, which is this is the Jets, right? Regardless of the quarterback, we should win this game. And any Dolphins fan that is hoping that we don't win so that Fitzpatrick looks bad and Tua comes back, that's just ridiculous. We want to win. We want to make the playoffs. It's about the team. But you got to let us know exactly why he's not playing. You got to tell us this is what's going on, because if not, you're just going to keep fueling that narrative. And now, if Fitzpatrick has a great game, right, if he has the overs that Alfredo is talking about and that I think he can hit as well, now you're looking at possibly saying, oh, wait, should we not bring Tua back? Which I disagree with, but people are going to be talking about it. So it's really putting us in a bad situation.
And they're in the building, and I hate to interrupt you, Louis, but they're in the building and we're not, and who knows what happened during that week. Maybe they said, look, you know, we could do a tape job on your thumb and your palm, and you can play. There are pictures of him throwing the football in practice as late as Friday, okay? So maybe they told him that, and he said, no, you know what? I'm sitting out. And right away, I think Flores' mind starts going to 2021 and saying, you know what? We need to draft an insurance policy. And I don't think I'm being crazy by saying something like that. This is the starting quarterback of your football team, your franchise quarterback. Availability is one of the most important traits. Besides being good at anticipation, having a good arm, knowing how to read defenses, being athletic, availability is extremely important, because you've seen what's happened in the NFL this year. Well, one team is going to play with no quarterbacks, but essentially, let's be real about it. Dolphins are kind of lucky that they have Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua Tagovailoa, right? But most teams lose their starting quarterback, season's over. It's over for them. So availability is extremely important. So they'll have the evaluation inside that building. And if it is what I just said it is, and I don't have no information one way or the other, then they're already looking at 2021 as looking for an insurance policy.
Well, let's say that, for instance, we'll go ahead and do this. I don't think that it's really that big of a deal that he misses a few games. Like, let's put it this way. It said that NFL Network reported that there was swelling into his thumb. Now, if they're swelling and it's not just, oh, he just jammed his thumb and he's too much of a wussy to deal with it, that means that there's something going on with his thumb more than we're being told. Because let's think, the Patriots have done this for years, right? They just they downplay things, or they pretend that things are worse than they really are. That's what they've done with injury reports for the past decade or so. So I don't really think this is a big deal on Tua's part. Now, let's also say this. Since Brian Flores is the kind of coach who's always going to say, what is the best decision to help us win right now? Is Ryan Fitzpatrick a better option to win the game than Tua, whose thumb when your thumb hurts, like, you can't throw with only 4 fingers. If your thumb, and with Tua's accuracy being so serious to what makes his game function, if he can't be accurate with the football, then Tua he's just another guy. The whole point of Tua is his accuracy.
But also, toughness and, pain management are also other traits. And if you remember 2 years ago, Matt Stafford came in here with a screwed up thumb, threw 3 touchdowns at 350 yards. You remember? Okay, and that was in his throwing end. So it does happen all the time. It does happen all the time that guys play with, a hurt extremity. This time it's his thumb. I just want to see more. I want to hear more. I want to know what exactly is keeping him out of this game. And if it keeps him out more games, I really want to know what happened.
But here's something else that you have to consider. Remember, way back when this season started, remember what the initial expectations were. And remember what the initial plan was. The fact that we're even talking playoffs, nobody saw this coming this season. The fact that they're even in this spot right now is a surprise to everybody. If you told us at the beginning of the season that the Dolphins would be in a prime spot to push for the playoffs, nobody would have believed it. So
some of us did on our podcast. CK did pick 10-6, and I picked 9-7, which kind of puts you right there.
But that's still borderline. I mean, that's fine. You picked 10 wins, but did even CK think, yes, the Dolphins are going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, he did.
He
thought they had a decent shot at the division.
Well, credit to him then, because I
think the surprising thing here is that we're in a spot to make the playoffs, and Tua's now 4 games into his career, which I don't think we were going to be at this point. To me, that's the more surprising thing. I also picked 9-7, I think, in one of my initial videos for the season. But after the first couple of games, I thought, well, maybe not 9-7. That might have been out of reach. And then they've turned it around since, and it's been great. But it's Tua being 4 games in now that's really surprising. And now it becomes a matter of, okay, is this team just able to make it with either of the two? Should we have one over the other? And that's really what we're looking at now is the big concerns for this team.
I think that this is remnants of the fact that 2020 was never supposed to be the year. I think that what's going on is that Flores might be playing it safe. He doesn't feel a pressing need to throw Tua out to the wolves with his thumb not at 100%. If he feels like he is hurt and he can't do his job to the best of his ability, then if you have a quarterback of Fitzpatrick's caliber, who, regardless of whether you believe that he's better than Tua or not, he can get the job done. He's already shown it this season. It's not like Tua started the season the whole way through. Fitzpatrick was doing pretty well, all things considered, before Tua took over. So if we're just going back to that, then there's not really a loss to the now. The only thing that we're losing out on is a chance to further evaluate Tua for the future.
Right.
And it's not like 2021 is going to be the only year the Dolphins are going to be able to draft quarterbacks. There are going to be more quarterbacks coming in 2022, 2023, however long we feel we need to evaluate Tua, that's going to be there for us to look at. It's not just draft remember, this is not an audition. Flores said that very clear. This is not an audition for Tua. Tua is the guy. So if you're frustrated that he's not playing through pain, okay, I get that. That kind of screams of the Jay Cutler just biking on the sidelines while the Bears are in the playoffs and all that. But this is not the same circumstances. This entire 2020 season is a completely unique set of circumstances for Miami. And the fact that we're making it to the playoffs, or at least we're pushing for it, makes it even more unique than we initially thought it was at all. So to say that there's an issue here, I'm not going to go that far. All I'm saying is that with Fitzpatrick here, and the Jets are the team that we're going to be facing off against, and Adam Gase I'll go ahead and I'll just say this right now. We've lost. Matt Patricia got fired earlier this week. The list of people who've been fired so far now is a very long one, and quite frankly, it's baffling that unless the Jets are making it blatantly obvious they do not want to win games, which it almost feels like it is. But remember, where's the scandal for the Jets? Huh? The Dolphins were ripped to shreds for doing what they were doing.
By the way, Matt Patricia is an interesting one because he is very, very close to Brian Flores. So that's a guy that can end up here as far as like a consultant on a one year basis, until he finds his other defensive coordinator job down the road. Maybe,
but again, the fact that this man's sheer unlikability, his complete incompetence, and he's still an NFL head coach ahead of everybody else. Like, I'm starting to think Mike McCarthy's going to get fired before Adam Gase does. And McCarthy's only in his first year with the Cowboys. So it baffles me that
McCarthy, I don't know if you saw that game on Thanksgiving night against the Washington football team, but McCarthy was like actively trying to lose that game with his decisions. Going for it on your own 34-yard line when the Washington football team needed to put together perfect drives to drive it all the way down the field. You give him a short field, and then he fakes a punt on his own 20 or whatever it was. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And now we're playing against a coach who's even worse. He's nuts. We've seen the eyes. I did the taco gag the other week. It was ridiculous how stupidly arrogant this man is. And somehow he still has a head coaching job. So I'm not worried about this game. I think that the Dolphins are going to win it easy. We'll do picks in a minute, but I'm just going to go ahead and let you guys talk.
I will say, Alfredo, I wanted to ask you this. Because you mentioned Tua playing through the injuries and stuff. I feel like it's pretty highly unlikely that Tua is the one that's saying, hey, it's sore, I don't want to play. Because Tua seemed like the guy to fight through everything. What was it, the ankle? He came back the week later in college twice. Like, he does not seem like the kind of guy that would be like, this is too much for me to handle. I don't know what you think, Alfredo.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is Brian Flores. Right. But he has to see something, right? Like, Brian Flores has to see something as far as, why he's going to sit him for this game and maybe further games. I guess I could understand, if you say, okay, you have the luxury of having Ryan Fitzpatrick, so, why are you going to put a guy out there that's obviously not at 100%? I understand that. Although it's part of his development to be out there at not 100%, right? So I could see that. Now, further games, I don't know. Further games, I need a really detailed explanation as to why that's happening. Yeah. Because if I'm not going to bring out any conspiracy theories, but if it's about, okay, we think Ryan Fitzpatrick gives us a 5% chance more of winning. Well, first of all, I disagree. Okay, one guy throws interceptions, the other one does not. Okay, this team is built to be conservative. Let's face it. Okay, you want to throw it around the lot. You want to throw for 400 yards. You want to play a high-paced, high-powered offense. Okay, that's next year when you could go get wide receivers and running backs and maybe shore up the offensive line. This year they're built to be conservative. So. Yeah, so I completely if it's if we're gonna go to conspiracy theories, then that's a problem. Yeah, but I want to see this really just it kicks the can down the road at least one more week because Kansas City's coming in 2 weeks. You don't want to throw him in there against Kansas City.
Yeah, you don't want that to be his first one back. Well, I mean, they threw his first game in against the Rams.
They already threw him in against the Rams, right? Yeah. So at that point.
So, I'd like to see him, against Cincinnati next week. But, as far as the game today, I guess we could do our picks now. And Lewis, it's magic time. Defense is relatively healthy. That's good news. I guess Kristen Wilkins is active.
Yep.
So, 2 questions. What happens, and is it required to smash the Jets today? Lewis?
I don't think it's required to smash the Jets, although I think that since we're playing old Taco Eyes Gase, and yes, it was a little on bland. I needed some sauce anyway. Thank you, Kai. for mentioning that. But anyway, and yes, I was dead serious about the tacos. I told everybody I was going to do it, and I don't know why nobody thought I was. I don't know why everybody thought I was kidding. Exactly. Yes, it is Taco Sunday. It's Jets week. It has every time it's going to be Jets week. If Adam Gase is the coach, I'm going to be eating a taco. That's just kind of how it's going to be from now on. That's and before I give my pick, I'll just say this. Isn't it funny how the Jets always find themselves to be like the complete and utter humiliation of the league? First, it was the butt fumble, which was the worst pick, which was the worst play in all of sports for a year ongoing on ESPN. Now it's Gase and his crazy taco eyes. It's just hysterical. That's just my my personal observation with these Jets. But anyway, I don't think it's necessary to clobber them. I think just the fact that the Dolphins are trying to get something going with their offense again, it'll be interesting to see if Fitzpatrick being the quarterback actually lights a fire under them, because it seemed to do that once Fitzpatrick came into the game last week, and that sparked a whole different story about, is it better with Fitzpatrick or Tua, because one was able to move the ball, the other one did not. But I think that if nothing else, the offense is going to be able to function because they were used to being with Fitzpatrick. I think that they'll win this game somewhere along the lines of 30 to, I'm going to go ahead and give the Jets a little extra. I'm going to give them 17.
All right. Michael, same question. Are they required to clobber them, destroy them, beat them by 3 touchdowns? And your prediction?
I think the offensive side of the ball, I just need to see some efficiency, right? I want to see you work on the run game, which I know these aren't the running backs that you're hoping on, but you need to keep working on the run game. We all think that needs to happen. I do need to see, though, the defense have a really good game. I understand that the Jets are coming back healthier, and I think Sam Darnold is back, I'm pretty sure, and all this stuff. I still need to see the defense put together a good game. This is a team that does not have a good run game, right? You cannot have them run on you like the Broncos did, and I don't think they will, but I need to see you improve on that aspect. So on the defensive side of the ball, I do need to see a little bit of clobbering. I do need to see a little bit of dominance, because if the defense isn't dominant, this team isn't going to go anywhere. And I think we can all agree on that. We're riding the defense. Offense is conservative. So with that being said, I do think the Jets are going to have a tough time on the offensive side of the ball. So I'm going to give the Dolphins a 28-10 win over the Jets.
Yeah, we're almost right there, eye to eye. Yeah, I would like to see the Dolphins absolutely just destroy the Jets today. I don't know what the record is, but I believe it would be a record. I don't think anybody inside of our division has ever swept somebody with 2 shutouts.
Yeah,
I'd love to see that. But they are getting Sam Darnold back. I think there's going to be moments in this game where you're going to say, oh, boy, oh, no, is this going to happen? But I think the Dolphins pull away late. I'll have them 28-14. Mm-hmm. I think Sam Darnold plays okay, and makes a pretty good audition for his next team. Maybe the Steelers in a year, something like that.
We need to make the Jets look like Nate Robinson. That's what we need to do. We need to be the Jake Paul to their Nate Robinson, and that's a horrible thing to say.
So I'd love to see the Dolphins absolutely just murder them. I just think they'll win comfortably. Yeah. It won't be a blowout. They'll just win comfortably. 2 touchdowns, let's call it. All right, we will see you for the post-game show. That's it. Enjoy the games.
We'll be live. We'll be live during the game. We're going to be doing some commercial breaks and going to do some live reactions to everything that's going on during commercials and stuff like that, of which there are plenty of opportunities because commercials kind of run the show for the NFL these days. So, thank you all so much for joining us. Again, prizepicks.com is what this show is brought to you by. And for all of you out there who haven't eaten yet, go get some tacos.
Fins up,
all right, guys.